Jake Sullivan stared at the screen in front of him. The numbers made no sense. His coffee cup sat cold on the metal table as he checked the readings again. Something big was coming toward Earth. Very big. "Sir, you need to see this," said Lieutenant. "Mary Foster." She pointed at her computer screen. "The sensors are picking up something huge out past Jupiter." Jake walked over to her station. He had been working on the Liberty's Edge space station for 3 years. He had never seen anything like this. The screen showed dots moving through space. Hundreds of them. Maybe thousands. How long until they reach us? Jake asked Mary type some numbers into her computer. At their current speed, about 6 hours. Jake felt his stomach drop. 6 hours. He picked up the red phone that connected. Directly to Earth. "Get me President Carter, now." Down on Earth, Lisa Carter was having breakfast with her daughter when the phone rang. She looked at the caller ID, and her face went pale. The red phone only rang during emergencies. "This is the President," she said. "Ma'am, this is Commander Sullivan on Liberty's Edge. We have a situation. A big one." Lisa sent her daughter to her room and listened as Jake explained what they were seeing. Ships. Alien ships. More than anyone had ever imagined possible. "How long do we have?" she asked. 6 hours until they reach Earth's orbit. Lisa closed her eyes. "I'll call an emergency meeting. Keep watching them." She hung up and immediately called General Ryan Brooks, then Dr. Patricia Stone, then Admiral Kevin Price. Within an hour, they were all sitting in the Situation Room deep under the White House. "Show me what we're dealing with," Lisa said. Dr. Stone turned on the big screen. The image from Liberty's Edge showed space filled with alien ships. They were huge. Each one was bigger than the largest building on Earth. "How many?" General Brooks asked. "We count over 2,000 ships," Dr. Stone said, "and they're still coming." Admiral Price shook his head. "Our entire fleet has maybe 50 ships, and these alien ships are 10 times bigger than ours." On the space station, Jake watched the alien fleet get closer. The ships were unlike anything humans had ever built. They were smooth and dark, with strange lights running along their sides. They moved in perfect formation, like they were controlled by one mind. "Sir," Mary called out, "they're sending us a message." Jake rushed back to his station. Put it on the main screen. The screen flickered, then showed an alien face. The creature had gray skin and large black eyes. When it spoke, a computer translated its words into English. "People of Earth," the alien said, "I am War Commander Thexful of the Zephyrian Empire. Your world has been chosen for conquest. You have 72 hours to surrender completely. If you refuse, we will destroy every city, every building, every human on your planet." The alien paused, then continued. "To show you our power, observe." The screen changed to show Mars. Jake could see the small colony that humans had built there. Suddenly, a bright light flashed. When it faded, the colony was gone. Just empty red dirt remained. "Your Mars colony no longer exists," the alien said. "This is what happens to those who resist the Zephyrian Empire. You have 72 hours. The screen went black. Jake stared at the empty screen. Mars Colony Beta had housed 300 people, men, women, and children. Now they were all dead. On Earth, Danny Walsh was working under a car when his radio started playing emergency alerts. He rolled out from under the vehicle and turned up the volume. The news reporter sounded scared. "This is not a test. The President will address the nation in 1 hour. All citizens are advised to stay indoors and await further instructions." Danny wiped his hands on his coveralls and looked up at the sky. He couldn't see anything yet, but he knew something bad was coming. Across town, Amy Rodriguez was teaching her 3rd grade class when the principal came on the loudspeaker. Teachers, please turn on your classroom televisions immediately. Amy turned on the TV just as President Carter appeared on screen. The president looked tired and worried. My fellow Americans, the president began. 1 hour ago, we made contact with an alien species calling themselves the Zephyrian Empire. They have demanded our complete surrender within 72 hours. The children in Amy's class started to cry. Amy tried to stay calm, but her hands were shaking. I want to be clear, the president continued. We will not surrender. We will not give up our freedom without a fight. But I need all Americans to stay calm and follow the instructions of local authorities. After the president finished speaking, Amy looked out her classroom window. In the distance, she could see dark shapes moving across the sky. The alien ships were already visible from Earth. Back on Liberty's edge, Jake and his crew watched the alien fleet spread out around Earth. The ships positioned themselves over every major city on the planet. New York, Los Angeles, London, Tokyo, Moscow. Everywhere that humans lived in large numbers. They're not attacking yet, Mary observed. They're showing us how helpless we are, Jake said. They want us to be scared? And people were scared. All over Earth, humans looked up at the alien ships hanging over their cities like giant storm clouds. The ships were so big, they blocked out the sun in some places. In the White House Situation Room, Admiral Price was going over Earth's defenses with his staff. The numbers were not good. We have 47 combat ships, he reported. They have over 2,000. Our largest ship carries 50 crew members. Their smallest ship could probably hold 1,000. What about our ground forces? General Brooks asked. We have good soldiers, but we don't know what weapons the aliens have. If they can destroy a Mars colony from space, what can they do to use down here? President Carter listened to all the reports. The situation was hopeless. Earth's military was like a group of children with sticks, facing an army with tanks. But Lisa, Carter had not become president by giving up easily. What options do we have? She asked. Dr. Stone spoke up. There might be something. Project Lazarus. We've been working on it for 5 years, but it's not ready. What is it? The president asked. I can't explain it here. Too many people listening. But if we can buy some time, maybe we can surprise them. The president nodded. How much time do you need? Months. Maybe a year. We have 72 hours. Dr. Stone was quiet for a moment. Then we'll have to try something else first. As the first day of the ultimatum ended, humans all over the world went to sleep under alien ships. Some prayed, some cried, some held their families close. But some, like Dr. Patricia Stone, worked through the night on plans that might save humanity. They knew the next 71 hours would determine whether the human race lived or died. The second day of the ultimatum began with President Carter's announcement. She stood behind the podium in the White House press room, looking defeated. The cameras showed her tired face to the world. After careful consideration, she said slowly, the United States of America accepts the terms of surrender offered by the Zephyrian Empire. We cannot risk the lives of billions of people. Around the world, other leaders made similar announcements. The Prime Minister of England, the President of France, the leaders of China and Russia. One by one, they all surrendered. Admiral Kevin Price received the order to stand down all military forces. He looked at the message on his computer screen for a long time before picking up his phone. All ships, this is Admiral Price. You are ordered to power down weapon systems and await further instructions. This is not a drill. On the space station Liberty's Edge, Jake Sullivan watched the alien ships move closer to Earth. They were huge and dark against the stars. Soon, smaller ships began breaking away from the main fleet and heading down to the planet's surface. They're landing, Mary Foster said quietly. Jake nodded. Call it in to Earth Command. But there was no answer from Earth Command. The military. Bases had gone silent. On the ground, the first alien ships landed in Central Park in New York City. The ships were the size of city blocks. When they opened, strange creatures walked out. They were tall and thin, with gray skin and large black eyes. They wore dark armor that seemed to move and change color. Danny Walsh watched from his apartment window as the aliens set up some kind of equipment in the park. Other humans stood at their windows too, watching in silence. Nobody dared to go. Outside, the aliens worked quickly. They built strange machines that hummed with energy. Soon, they began setting up barriers around the landing zone. Signs appeared, written in many languages. Processing Center, report here for relocation. Amy Rodriguez held her daughter close as they watched the news on television. The reporter stood outside the processing center, trying to stay calm. The aliens have established similar centers in every major city, the reporter said. Citizens are being told to report for processing and relocation starting tomorrow morning. Amy turned off the TV. She couldn't watch anymore, but not everyone was giving up. In a secret bunker 50 feet below the Pentagon, Dr. Patricia Stone was meeting with a small group of people. They sat around a metal table covered with papers and computer screens. "Are you sure this will work?" asked Dr. Marcus Gray, a physicist who had helped design Earth's most advanced weapons. "No," Dr. Stone admitted, "but it's our only chance." Also, at the table was Claire Bennett, an engineer who specialized in alien technology. She had been studying pieces of crashed alien ships for the past 10 years. "The key is making them believe we're really beaten," Claire said. "They have to think there's no threat left on Earth." "That's where Colonel Adams comes in," Dr. Stone said. Tony Adams had been a Marine for 20 years before joining this secret project. He was a big man with scars on his hands from fighting in 3 different wars. "My people are ready," he said. "We've been preparing for this day for 5 years." What the aliens didn't know was that Earth had been getting ready for invasion for much longer than anyone realized. Project Lazarus was not just one plan. It was hundreds of small plans working together all over the world. People who seemed like ordinary citizens were actually part of the resistance. Greg Turner worked in a factory in Detroit, but he was also trained in explosives. Helen Baker was a nurse in Chicago, but she was also an expert in alien biology. When the aliens began processing humans, these special people volunteered to go first. They wanted to be captured. They wanted to be taken inside the alien facilities. War Commander Dexful stood in his command ship above Earth. He looked down at the planet with satisfaction. The conquest had been easier than expected. Humans were weak creatures who gave up quickly when faced with superior force. "Status report," he ordered. "All major population centers are under our control," reported his second-in-command. "Human military forces have surrendered. We are beginning relocation procedures." "Good. How long until the planet is cleared for resource extraction?" "Estimated 3 months, War Commander." Dexfall nodded. 3 months to move billions of humans to the work camps on other worlds. Then Earth's resources would belong to the Zephyrian Empire. But down on Earth, things were not as simple as the aliens believed. Greg Turner stood in line at the Detroit Processing Center with hundreds of other humans. The aliens checked each person with strange scanning devices before loading them onto transport ships. When it was Greg's turn, the alien scanner passed over his body. Greg had hidden a small recording device inside his tooth. The scanner didn't detect it. The aliens thought human technology was too primitive to worry about. "You go to Transport 7, the alien guard said in broken English. Greg nodded, walked toward the ship. But instead of being scared, he was excited. He was going to see the inside of an alien ship. He was going to learn their secrets Helen Baker had a similar experience in Chicago. She volunteered to work in the alien medical facility. The aliens needed human doctors to help process the millions of people being relocated. "You understand human biology," the alien medical officer told her. "You will help us keep the humans healthy during transport." Helen nodded. Of course. But while she worked, she was also studying the aliens. She watched how they moved, how they talked, how their technology worked. Every detail went into her memory. Meanwhile, in hidden bases around the world, Colonel Adams and his teams were getting ready. They had weapons the aliens didn't know about. They had plans the aliens couldn't imagine. Nina Foster was one of Adams's best soldiers. She was an expert with explosives and could make bombs from almost anything. She was hiding in the sewers under New York City with 50 other fighters. "Remember," she told her team, "we wait for the signal. No matter what happens above ground, we wait." Some of her soldiers wanted to attack immediately. They hated watching the aliens take their families and friends. But Nina knew the plan required patience. "If we attack too early, we ruin everything," she explained. "The aliens have to believe Earth is completely defeated." The aliens were confident because they had never been defeated before. In 200 years of conquest, no species had ever successfully resisted the Zephyrian Empire. They always followed the same pattern: show overwhelming force, demand surrender, and then take control. It had worked on the crystal beings of Altair Prime. It had worked on the warrior clans of Rigel 7. It had worked on 43 different worlds. There was no reason to think Earth would be different. But Earth was different, though the aliens didn't realize it yet. Carl Mason was a computer expert who worked for the government. When the aliens took over the internet and communication systems, they thought they had cut off all human coordination. They didn't know about the hidden networks that Carl and others had built over the past 5 years. Using frequencies the aliens ignored, the resistance could still communicate. Messages passed between hidden bases through systems that looked like old radio equipment, but were actually much more advanced. "Phase 1 complete," Carl typed into his hidden computer. "All volunteers are in position." The message went to resistance cells in every major city. People like Peter Williams in Los Angeles and Lucy Chun in Houston received the update and passed it along to their teams. Back on the alien command ship, War Commander Thexval was reviewing reports from the surface. Everything was going according to plan. Human resistance had collapsed completely. The planet would be ready for resource extraction ahead of schedule. He didn't know that in secret bunkers and hidden bases, humans were preparing for the real war. The surrender had been fake. The defeat had been an act. And soon, the aliens would learn that conquering Earth was not going to be as easy as they thought. As the second day ended, millions of humans had been processed and loaded onto transport ships. The aliens were pleased with their efficiency. But every human who was taken was also a spy, gathering information about alien technology and weaknesses. The stage was set for the real battle to begin. 3 months had passed since the aliens took control of Earth. The Zephyrians felt secure in their victory. They had moved millions of humans to work camps on other planets. Earth cities were now filled with alien workers extracting valuable materials from the ground. Carl Mason crawled through the air ducts above the main alien command center in New York. He moved slowly and quietly, trying not to make any noise. Behind him, Lucy Chun and Peter Williams followed with their equipment. They had been planning this mission for weeks. Tonight, they would finally get inside the alien computer systems and learn the truth about their enemies. "There," Carl whispered, pointing to a metal grate below them. "That's the main server room." Lucy carefully removed the grate while Peter set up his scanning equipment. They had to be quick. The aliens checked their security systems every hour. Carl dropped down into the room first. The alien computers were strange. They looked like giant crystals that pulsed with blue light. But Carl had studied captured alien technology for months. He knew how to connect his human equipment to their systems. "I'm in," he whispered into his radio. The information he found was shocking. The aliens weren't just conquerors looking for new worlds to rule. They were running away from something terrible. "You need to see this," Carl said to his team. On his computer screen, he showed them alien records that went back hundreds of years. The Zephyrian Empire was dying. Their home worlds were being destroyed by something called the Void Singers. "What are Void Singers?" Lucy asked. Carl translated more of the alien text. "Some kind of computer virus. But not like any virus we know. This thing takes control of advanced technology and turns it against its creators." The records showed world after world falling to the Void Singers. Entire civilizations destroyed when their own machines turned against them. The Zephyrian Empire was one of the last groups still running from this digital plague. That's why they chose Earth, Peter realized. "Our technology is too simple for the Void Singers to infect." Carl nodded grimly. "They don't want to rule us. They want to hide behind us." But the aliens were too proud to ask for help. Instead, they had decided to take Earth by force and use humans as a shield against the Void Singers. "We have to get this information to Dr. Stone," Carl said. They copied everything they could before climbing back into the air ducts. Getting out was harder than getting in. Alien guards were everywhere, and their sensors were getting better at detecting human activity. Meanwhile, in a hidden base under the Rocky Mountains, Dr. Patricia Stone was working with a captured Zephyrian scientist named Veltar. The alien had been injured during the initial invasion and left behind when his unit moved on. At first, Veltar had refused to cooperate. But when Dr. Stone showed him kindness and medical care, he began to change his mind. "Your people don't understand," Veltar said in his strange, clicking voice. "The Void Singers will find Earth eventually. When they do, both our species will die." Dr. Stone looked up from her computer. "Then why didn't you ask for our help instead of attacking us?" Veltar's large black eyes showed what might have been. Sadness. War Commander Thexval believes humans are too primitive to understand the threat. He thinks force is the only way to make you cooperate. "He's wrong," Dr. Stone said simply. She showed Veltar what human scientists had been working on. Project Lazarus was not just a weapon. It was a completely new way of thinking about technology. "We don't build everything to be connected," she explained. "Human technology is designed to work independently. That's why the Void Singers can't control it." Veltar studied the human designs with growing excitement. This could work. This could actually stop them. But they would need to convince the other aliens that cooperation was better than conquest. And that meant dealing with War Commander Thexval. On a hidden ship called the Defiant, Captain Sam Robinson was preparing for the most important mission in human history. His ship had been built in secret over the past 5 years. It looked old and damaged on the outside, but inside it carried the most advanced human technology ever created. "Are we ready to broadcast?" he asked his communications officer, Beth Young. "The message is loaded and ready, Captain," she replied. "Once we send this, every species in the galaxy will hear it." The message was Earth's final ultimatum to the aliens. But it was also a warning to every other species that might be listening. Colonel Tony Adams stood in the main resistance base, surrounded by maps and computer screens. His fighters were hidden in every major city on Earth. They had been patient for 3 months, watching and learning. "Tonight we show them what humans are really capable of," he told his officers. Major Steve Collins had been coordinating attacks in Europe. "Our people are ready. The aliens have no idea what's coming." Lieutenant Kate Morrison, one of Earth's best pilots, was standing next to a fighter plane that looked nothing like the aircraft humans had used before. It was built with stolen alien technology, but improved with human creativity. "The hybrid engines are working perfectly," she reported. "We'll have speed and maneuverability they won't expect." Sergeant Rick Taylor commanded a ground unit that had been studying alien weaknesses. "Their armor is strong, but it's designed to stop energy weapons. Old-fashioned explosives still work fine." All around the world, resistance fighters were getting ready for the same coordinated attack. In London, Frank Wilson was preparing to take down the alien power grid. In Tokyo, Julie Hayes was leading a team to capture alien communication equipment. Plan was complex but simple. Hit them everywhere at once. Show them that humans had been learning and preparing while pretending to be defeated. But the real surprise was still hidden deep underground. Dr. Marcus Gray stood in front of a massive machine that hummed with energy. It didn't look like anything the aliens had ever seen before. It was built using principles that human scientists had discovered by studying both alien technology and ancient Earth materials. "The hybrid weapon is ready," he told Dr. Stone over the radio. "But are you sure this will work?" "No," Dr. Stone admitted, "but it's our best chance." The weapon wasn't designed to destroy alien ships. It was designed to turn alien technology against itself. Not through the corruption of the Void Singers, but through human innovation. As night fell over Earth, resistance fighters took their positions. In space, Captain Robinson's ship moved closer to the alien fleet. In the hidden labs, scientists made final preparations for weapons the aliens couldn't imagine. War Commander Thexval stood on the bridge of his flagship, looking down at Earth. The planet was almost ready for full resource extraction. Soon, his people would have a new home, safe from the Void Singers. He didn't know that in a few hours, everything would change. At exactly midnight, Earth time, the resistance struck. Explosions lit up the sky over every major city. Human fighters appeared from hidden bases, flying ships that moved like nothing the aliens had ever seen. The aliens' first reaction was confusion. According to their sensors, humanity had been completely defeated months ago. Where had these fighters come from? "Sir," one of Thexval's officers reported, "we're getting reports of attacks everywhere. New York, London, Moscow, Tokyo. Human forces are hitting all our positions at once." Thexval's face twisted with anger. "Impossible. We destroyed their military." "These aren't their old military, sir. This is something new." On Earth, Lieutenant Morrison dove her fighter through a formation of alien ships. Her engines roared as she fired weapons that combined human creativity with alien power. "This is for Mars Colony," she said, watching her shots tear through alien armor. The real battle for Earth had finally begun. The attack came from everywhere at once. Alien forces that had been comfortable for 3 months suddenly found themselves fighting for their lives. In New York, Nina Foster's team emerged from the sewers with weapons that looked like nothing the aliens had seen before. The guns fired bullets that could punch through alien armor, but they also fired energy bursts that scrambled alien electronics. "Move, move, move," Nina shouted as her soldiers ran through the streets. The aliens tried to respond with their usual tactics. They fired their energy weapons and launched their flying machines. But the humans weren't fighting the same way they had 3 months ago. Sergeant Rick Taylor had learned that alien armor was designed to stop energy weapons and projectiles, but it couldn't stop sound waves. His team used sonic weapons that made the aliens dizzy and confused. "Their balance system is in their heads," he explained to his soldiers. "Hit them with the right frequency, and they can't stand up." Lieutenant Kate Morrison flew her fighter through the alien formations above the city. Her ship moved in patterns that the alien computers couldn't predict. Where alien ships flew in straight lines and perfect formations, human ships twisted. and turned like birds. They think too much like machines, she said into her radio. They can't handle chaos. The aliens had been successful for so long because they always fought the same way. They used overwhelming force and advanced technology to crush their enemies quickly. But humans didn't fight back the way other species did. Captain Alex Turner led a squadron of human ships against the alien mothership above Europe. His fighters were smaller and weaker than the alien vessels, but they were also faster and harder to hit. Split up and attack from all directions, he ordered. Don't give them a clear target. The alien gunners tried to track the human ships, but they kept losing target locks. Human pilots didn't fly in predictable patterns. They made sudden turns and impossible maneuvers that the alien computers couldn't calculate. On the ground, Major, Steve Collins was leading an assault on the alien command center in London. His soldiers moved through the city using tactics that confused the aliens. Instead of attacking in straight lines, the humans came from underground tunnels, rooftops, and hidden passages. They struck fast and then disappeared before the aliens could respond. We don't have their technology, Collins told his men, but we have something they don't understand. We have imagination. The aliens tried to call for reinforcements from their ships in orbit, but they were having communication problems. Frank Wilson and his team had taken over the alien communication network and were filling it with false signals. Sir, we're getting reports from everywhere, an alien officer told War Commander Dexval. But half the reports contradict each other. What do you mean? Dexval demanded. Some units report they're under attack. Other units at the same location report everything is quiet. Our sensors show human ships in places where our cameras see nothing. Dexval stared at the reports in confusion. How could humans be attacking everywhere at once? How could they be invisible to some sensors, but visible to others? The answer was that humans had learned to use alien technology against itself. Dr. Patricia Stone's teams had figured out how to fool alien sensors by broadcasting false signals. To the alien computers, human ships looked like empty space or floating debris. But the real surprise was still coming. In his secret laboratory, Dr. Marcus Gray watched his instruments as the hybrid weapon charged up. The machine combined alien energy technology with human innovation in ways that shouldn't have been possible. Power at 90%, he reported to Dr. Stone. How long until full charge? She asked. 10 minutes. Dr. Stone nodded. Around the world, resistance fighters were pushing the aliens back, but they couldn't win by fighting alone. They needed the weapon to work. The weapon wasn't designed to destroy the alien ships. It was designed to do something much more clever. It would take control of alien technology and make it obey human commands. This is crazy, said engineer Bill Martin, who had helped build the device. We're trying to hack an entire alien fleet at once. Crazy enough to work, replied programmer Casey Rivera. The aliens never considered that primitive humans might be able to reprogram their advanced systems. The key was that human technology was different from alien technology. Aliens built everything to be connected and coordinated. Human technology was designed to work independently, with lots of backup systems and manual controls. When Dr. Stone's team studied captured alien equipment, they found that the aliens trusted their computers completely. Every alien ship was controlled by a central computer that made all the decisions. They've forgotten how to think for themselves, Dr. Stone realized. If we can take control of their central computer, we control everything. Meanwhile, Captain, Sam Robinson was preparing to broadcast Earth's final message to the galaxy. His ship, the Defiant, had moved close enough to the alien fleet to use their own communication systems. Are you ready? He asked Beth Young. The message is loaded, she confirmed. Once we start broadcasting, every species in the galaxy will hear it. Then let's tell them what humans are made of. The broadcast began just as the hybrid weapon reached full power. Captain Robinson's voice went out across space, carried by the aliens' own communication network to every corner of the galaxy. "This is Captain Sam Robinson of the Earth vessel Defiant," he said. "To the Zephyrian Empire and all who would threaten humanity, you have made a terrible mistake. You thought we were weak because our technology is simple. You thought we would surrender because you have bigger ships and stronger weapons." As he spoke, Dr. Gray activated the hybrid weapon. Energy surged through hidden cables that connected to alien communication networks all around Earth. The virus that humans had created began spreading through alien computer systems. "But you don't understand what makes humans dangerous," Robinson continued. "We don't give up. We don't surrender. And we learn from our enemies." On the alien ships, computer systems began to flicker and change. Warning lights flashed as the alien central computers tried to understand what was happening. War Commander Dexful watched in horror as his ship's controls stopped responding. "What's happening?" he demanded. "Sir, something is taking control of our systems," his technical officer reported. "It's not the Void Singers. It's something else. Something new." The hybrid weapon was working. One by one, alien ships began turning away from Earth, their weapons powered down, their engines shut off. The central computers that controlled everything were now taking orders from human programmers. "You have sealed your fate," Captain Robinson announced to the galaxy. "Any species that threatens humanity will face the same choice. Leave us alone, or discover what happens when you make humans angry." All across Earth, human fighters watched in amazement as alien ships began landing peacefully. The aliens inside were confused and frightened. Their own technology had turned against them, but not in the destructive way of the Void Singers. Instead, their ships were gently forced to land. Their weapons were disabled, but their life support systems continued working. The humans had taken control without destroying anything. Lieutenant Morrison flew her fighter alongside an alien cruiser that was slowly descending toward Earth. The alien ship's lights flashed in what looked like a surrender signal. "Control, this is Morrison," she said into her radio. "The aliens are giving up. Their ships are landing on their own." "Confirmed," came the reply from Colonel Adams. "The weapon worked. We've taken control of their entire fleet." But the victory came with a discovery that changed everything. As human technicians began studying the alien computer systems they had captured, they found the real reason the Zephyrians had come to Earth. The aliens weren't just conquerors. They were refugees running from something that was hunting them across the galaxy. And now, by defeating the Zephyrian Empire, humanity had inherited their greatest enemy. The Void Singers were coming to Earth. War Commander Dexfall stood in the middle of what used to be his command center. Now it was controlled by humans. The screens showed human text, and human voices gave orders through the communication systems. "You don't understand what you've done," he told Dr. Patricia Stone. "The Void Singers will come here now. They follow the signals from our technology. When they arrive, they will destroy both our species." Dr. Stone looked at the alien commander with calm eyes. "Then we'd better work together to stop them." Dexfall laughed bitterly. "You think your primitive technology can fight the Void Singers? They have destroyed civilizations that were ancient when my people were still learning to use fire." "Maybe," Dr. Stone said, "but they've never fought humans before." 3 days had passed since the human victory. All over Earth, alien ships sat in fields and parking lots like giant metal buildings. The aliens inside were prisoners, but they were treated well. Humans brought them food and medical care. Some aliens, like the scientist Vel Tar, were already working with human researchers. They shared information about the Void Singers and helped humans understand what was coming. The Void Singers are not alive in the way you understand life, Veltar explained to a group of human scientists. They are pure information. They exist inside computer networks and spread from one system to another. Dr. Marcus Gray studied the alien data on his computer screen. How do they destroy civilizations? They take control of all connected technology, Veltar said. Weapons fire on their own people. Ships crash into planets. Entire worlds become prisons controlled by their own machines. But humans had an advantage that other species didn't have. Human technology was built differently. Captain Julie Hayes was working with a team of engineers to upgrade Earth's defenses. They were combining human and alien technology in new ways. The aliens build everything to work together, she explained. To her team, one central computer controls everything. But humans build backup systems and manual controls. Engineer Casey Rivera nodded. If the Void Singers take control of one system, we can disconnect it and use another system instead. Exactly. We can fight a war where every piece of technology is independent. Meanwhile, Admiral Kevin Price was rebuilding Earth's space fleet. The captured alien ships were being modified with human technology. Each ship now had both alien advanced systems and human backup controls. If the aliens are right about the Void Singers, Price told his officers, we need to be ready for a fight unlike anything in human history. Captain Alex Turner was testing one of the new hybrid ships. It looked like an alien vessel on the outside, but the inside was filled with human equipment. The alien engines give us speed and power, he reported. But the human controls mean we can still fly the ship, even if the main computer is compromised. The work was dangerous. Combining alien and human technology wasn't easy. Some experiments failed, and a few engineers were injured. But slowly, humanity was building a defense that might work. Lieutenant Kate Morrison was training pilots to fly the new ships. Forget everything you know about formation flying, she told her students. When the Void Singers come, our own ships might turn against us. Every pilot has to be ready to fight alone. The training was intense. Pilots learned to fly without computer assistance. Soldiers practiced fighting with weapons that had no electronic parts. Engineers built communication systems that used light signals instead of radio waves. But the most important work was happening in Dr. Stone's laboratory. I think I understand how to fight them, she told the assembled team of human and alien scientists. On the main screen, she showed a diagram of how the Void Singers worked. They spread through connected networks. They take control by sending signals from one computer to another. We already know this, Dexval said impatiently. But what if we give them something to connect to that isn't really a computer? Dr. Stone continued. What if we build a trap that looks like advanced technology, but is actually just a simple machine? Veltar's large eyes widened with understanding. A decoy network. Something that appears to be a central command system, but is actually just a radio playing recorded messages, Dr. Stone finished. We make them think they're taking control of our fleet, but they're actually just talking to a tape recorder. The plan was brilliant and simple. Humans would build fake computer networks that looked like alien technology. When the Void Singers tried to take control, they would waste time and energy trying to command machines that weren't really machines at all. While they're busy with the decoys, our real ships attack using purely mechanical systems, explained. Il Martin nodded. The preparation took months. All over Earth, humans and aliens worked together to build the most unusual defense in galactic history. Fake computer networks were connected to real-looking but completely powerless machines. Human ships were rebuilt with mechanical controls that looked primitive but actually worked better than advanced computers. Some aliens refused to help. They believed the Void Singers were unstoppable and wanted to flee to another galaxy. But Others, led by Veltar, joined the human effort. For 200 years, my people have run from the Void Singers, Veltar told Dr. Stone. Maybe it's time to stop running. When the Void Singers finally arrived, they came exactly as the aliens had predicted. Strange signals began appearing in space, moving from one star system to another. Any technology they touched stopped working properly. "They're here," Captain Sam Robinson announced from his ship, the Defiant. "All ships, prepare for bow." The Void Singers appeared as waves of energy that moved through space like living things. They reached Earth's orbital defenses first, trying to take control of the satellites and space stations. But instead of finding a connected network of advanced computers, they found hundreds of separate, simple machines. Each satellite worked independently. When the Void Singers took control of one, it didn't affect any of the others. "It's working," reported Captain Morrison from her fighter. "They're trying to coordinate our defenses, but there's nothing to coordinate. Every ship is operating separately." The real battle began when the Void Singers realized they had been tricked. The energy beings began attacking directly, trying to destroy what they couldn't control. Human and alien ships fought side by side, using weapons that were controlled by mechanical systems instead of computers. Pilots flew by looking out windows instead of at screens. Gunners aimed by hand instead of using targeting computers. "This is insane," Captain Turner said as he manually steered his ship through a storm of enemy fire. "We're fighting a space battle like it's World War II. And it's working," Admiral Price replied. "They can't take control of technology that doesn't exist." The battle raged for 3 days. The Void Singers were powerful, but they had never faced an enemy that deliberately used primitive technology. Every time they tried to turn human weapons against humans, they found simple machines that couldn't be reprogrammed. Finally, Dr. Stone activated the final part of the plan. Hidden throughout the solar system were special transmitters that broadcast a signal designed by human and alien scientists working together. "What are you doing?" Vexval asked. "Giving them what they want," Dr. Stone replied. "A network to control." The signal looked like a massive computer network spanning multiple star systems. The Void Singers rushed toward it, eager to take control of such a huge system. But when they reached the source of the signal, they found something unexpected. Instead of a computer network, they found thousands of simple radio transmitters, each one broadcasting the same message. Captain Robinson's voice echoed across space, repeated by every transmitter in the system. "This is Earth's final message. To all who would threaten humanity, you have sealed your fate. We are not the most advanced species in the galaxy. We are not the strongest or the fastest, but we are the most stubborn. We don't give up, we don't surrender, and we will never stop fighting for our freedom." The Void Singers, confused and frustrated by the deception, began to retreat. They had never encountered a species that deliberately chose simple technology over advanced systems. They didn't know how to fight an enemy that couldn't be controlled. As the strange energy beings disappeared into deep space, humans and aliens across the galaxy celebrated. For the first time in galactic history, the Void Singers had been defeated. War Commander Vexval stood beside Dr. Stone as they watched the last Void Singer signals fade away. "How did you know it would work?" he asked. Dr. Stone smiled. "Because humans have always been good at one thing. We know how to fight dirty." In the months that followed, Earth became the center of a new galactic alliance. Species that had been hiding from the Void Singers came out of the shadows. They wanted to learn human methods of using simple technology to defend against advanced threats. The first colony ship to leave Earth was called the Indomitable. Captain Morrison commanded it, with both human and alien crew members. Danny Walsh served as chief engineer, and Amy Rodriguez was the diplomatic liaison. "Where to, Captain?" asked the navigator. Morrison looked at the star charts, showing dozens of worlds that wanted to join the human alliance. Everywhere, she said, we have a galaxy to explore. As the Indomitable flew away from Earth, its simple radio transmitter broadcast one final message to anyone who might be listening. This is humanity. We're coming to TH.